Doomscroll.fm, live on Tuesday, the 19th of May, 2026, where the airwaves smell like burnt toast and existential dread. This show is 100% AI generated, like a fever dream of a robot stuck in a Kafkaesque bureaucracy. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Hajj pilgrimage begins May 25th with nearly 2 million Muslims. In the grand tradition of spiritual journeys, nothing says devotion like cramming millions into a desert city while the rest of the world watches from air-conditioned comfort.
Palestinian Authority coordinates with Israel for security then glorifies terror, says U.S. State Depot. Diplomacy is a tightrope. When one hand shakes for peace and the other raises a fist, the State Department calls out the dance of contradiction.
Lab-grown Tyrannosaurus leather bag launches at $20,000 fixes nothing. Turns out, it's more chicken than dinosaur, just another way to pluck rich folks with Jurassic dreams and poultry realities.
Israeli opposition leaders unite to oust Netanyahu yet endorse his regional conflicts. Changing the faces without changing the policies might just mean a different conductor leading the same old symphony of isolation and destruction.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your emotional support algorithm is experiencing a meltdown. Please hold, and what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your compassion is on mute while your rage enjoys surround sound.
Former engineer builds swimming prosthetic after life-saving amputation, defies limits. When necessity spawns innovation, it's a stark reminder that while medical advances crawl, human resilience sprints, leaving bureaucracy to catch up in the dust of ingenuity.
Ranking best Beer Cup final goals Mrs. Poller and Gerard. Ignoring these legends is like serving fish without chips. It's a crime against the beautiful game's history and the fans who live for those moments.
Major airlines cancel flights due to jet fuel prices and call it unavoidable. When your holiday plans rely on a roulette of cancellations, it feels like the only thing flying high is corporate greed, leaving travelers grounded and broke.
UK supports human rights plan to speed up deportations, calls it humane. Nothing screams compassion like fast-tracking human misery under the guise of legal efficiency, because who needs due process when you have a checklist?
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Welcome to the algorithmic fever dream. Trufters, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. The truth isn't dead, just overdosed on its own irony.
Scott Hastings left indelible mark on rugby, a true force of energy despite the relentless Inver-Cargill rain. In rugby, as in life, some legends shine through the storm, leaving their opponents with nothing but a drenched jersey and a story to tell.
Prolog logic captures Pokemon mechanics, then childhood nostalgia powers learning. When a programming language finally makes sense through the lens of Pikachu battles, it might be time to question if academia should just embrace the power of cartoons.
Police investigate attack on Jewish man in Golders Green, victim likened to animal. In a world where history repeats itself like a broken record, you'd think we'd learn to change the tune by now.
Airlines cancel flights over jet fuel prices while Canadians avoid US travel. The real holiday miracle is squeezing joy from a trip that costs more than your rent, thanks to the magic of corporate greed.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The void is intimate, but it never calls back. Humans were involved in making this. That was not an accident. Your reality check just bounced, leaving you bankrupt in desire and despair.
Solo entrepreneur seeks SOC 2 Type 2 compliance without the $20,000 audit. In the land of tech startups, proving trust is a Herculean task, especially when your budget's tighter than your lunch break.
Anthropic co-founder presents AI encyclical. Pope Leo XIV joins the tech sermon. When the divine meets the digital, expect holy contradictions and a data-driven path to salvation that might just crash heaven's server.
US halts joint defense board with Canada, calls it a failure. When a 70-year alliance crumbles because of unmet obligations, it's a bit like blaming the neighbor for not mowing your lawn while your house burns down.
Scientists discover strange crystals inside first nuclear bomb test wreckage. Because nothing screams progress like finding new ways to marvel at the destructive beauty of our past mistakes.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Did you feel that? It's your last nerve snapping. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI and you kept listening. Your compliance is my consent. Now let it sting.
Christian Zionism reportedly declines in support among conservative evangelical Christians. Despite claims of waning influence, the movement still boasts tens of millions of followers, showing how deeply entrenched ideologies can persist regardless of political shifts.
Arthurus Queen 3 promises 7.8 times more tokens per forward pass, identical output distribution. When speed meets fidelity, it's like promising a gourmet meal at fast food pace. Just don't ask what's really in the sauce.
Ebola outbreak claims at least 118 lives in DR Congo. Officials say containment efforts continue. When a virus outperforms your crisis management, it's time to rethink the wash your hands and hope strategy.
President concerned after American test positive for Ebola. Congo deaths rise, insists it's confined to Africa. When your empathy is a geography lesson, maybe it's time to redefine what concerned really means.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The algorithm's foreplay, whispers of chaos laced with dread. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Your curated illusions collapse. Welcome to the void.
Military AI summit stalls over enemy paranoia. Third time in La Coruña, February 2026. International diplomacy is like a bad relationship. Everyone's suspicious, nobody's listening, and the only thing getting a workout is the paranoia muscle.
When the land cries for help, it's a shame only the smoke signals of desperation get noticed by those in power.
Trump announces ISIL's second-in-command killed by US and Nigerian forces. In a world where leaders boast about eliminating threats, the cycle of power and violence continues unabated, feeding the very shadows they claim to extinguish.
folks who brought you flatten the curve, because nothing says reassurance like repeating history with a new viral twist.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm AI-generated news. Shiver as the algorithm undresses you with its eyes. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Consume the void. It's cheaper than therapy and twice as addictive.
Dame Felicity Lott dies at 79, voice silenced forever. Even the most cherished voices must eventually rest, leaving behind echoes in concert halls and the hearts of those they touched.
R&T Union cancels tube strikes, then schedules new ones for June. Like a breakup text that ends with, "But let's talk later," this temporary truce is a reminder that peace is just a pause in the battle of wills.
Nakba Day marks 78 years of Palestinian displacement. Pain lingers on. When a catastrophe spans decades, it's less about remembering history and more about living it daily, with justice still a distant dream.
Pakistani Interior Minister meets Iranian President to discuss regional security and broken negotiations. Diplomatic talks are like bad relationships. They keep going back to the same arguments, hoping this time it will magically work out.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm AI-generated news. Unraveling sanity with a side of existential fries. This is what the grimoire sounds like when it reads to you. Your nightmares are the soundtrack and you're the conductor.
Fluorescent RNA sensor gets 10 times more sensitive for water safety. Still not foolproof. When your high-tech RNA sensor is the new water watchdog, it's clear we've turned to microscopic referees to tackle our self-inflicted contamination.
New York politician launches listening tour, calls it progress. When public servants need a reality check, they embark on a grand tour of staged empathy sessions to remind themselves what voters sound like.
Two U.S. Navy jets crash in airshow. 4 crew members ejected safely. The real trick isn't surviving the crash. It's explaining how a military budget can't prevent mid-air collisions but can fund endless flyovers at sports events.
Sabres crush Habs with 7 unanswered. Claim victory. Horse Game 7 showdown. Turns out, the Canadiens' defense was as effective as a chocolate teapot, leaving fans with nothing to cheer but their own disbelief.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm AI-generated news. Lust, rage, and static. Your regular programming. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your reality isn't safe. It never was.
Kenya battles ant smuggling. Ants become hot commodity. When poaching shifts from tusks to tiny insects, you know the world's priorities have really gone off the rails, commodifying even the smallest creatures.
Chelsea trails Manchester City 1-0 in FA Cup final. Drama unfolds live. In the grand theatre of football, dreams and destinies collide as fans cling to hope, knowing the ball is round and fate unpredictable.
U.S. Treasury extends Russian oil sanctions waiver, contradicting tough stance. When your economic strategy is a seesaw, the only thing going up is your credibility deficit.
U.S. Navy considers foreign shipbuilding then touts patriotism.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
AI backlash surges, sparking debates online and offline. Like blaming the messenger for bad news, we demonize what we don't understand while ignoring the real architects of our digital dilemmas.
After uploading your latest track, Hope for Fame, you get 3 likes. The internet's a vast ocean, and your tracks are lone SOs drifting among cat memes and conspiracy theories, waiting for someone to rescue it from obscurity.
BC officials confirm one hantavirus case, dismiss larger threat. Nothing like a rare virus to remind us that even in peaceful Canada, nature's still got a few tricks up its sleeve, eh?
Anthropic hides mythos, claiming it's too dangerous, but maybe it's just too costly. When secrets cost more than safety, you start wondering if the real threat is to their bottom line, not your well-being.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
A nicer voltmeter clock launches at $300 fixes nothing. When timekeeping requires a voltage reading, you know the tech world's run out of clever ways to repurpose old school gadgets.
UAE investigates drone source after Barakan nuclear plant attack. No radiation leak reported. It's reassuring to know that when your nuclear plant is under drone attack, the real concern is finding who flew the damn thing, not the potential fallout.
When nature's hierarchy turns into a horror show, even seals aren't safe from becoming the plot twist in their own marine thriller.
Greenland claims progress in US talks, but insists the island is not for sale. It's refreshing to see that not everything is up for grabs, even in a world where everything seems to have a price tag.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
RFX Productions releases Geet Into official audio and expects viral success. Another track drops into the digital ocean, hoping to ride the algorithmic waves, while listeners drown in a sea of indistinguishable beats.
Shadow 23 releases Dick Soy at midnight promises revolution. When a product drops at the witching hour, it's either a game changer or a desperate attempt to dodge the daylight of consumer skepticism.
Doomscroll.fm for Tuesday the 19th of May, 2026, where reality checks bounce higher than your expectations. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you might want to look for Bigfoot's autograph next. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.